checking in. I'm getting ready to go out to lunch with my siblings. We are going to go to Ho. I was just cleaning this morning, so I'm a little sweaty. Oh. So I'm gonna do my makeup. I bought a bunch of different makeup yesterday. So I went to Ulta and TJ Maxx and I got NYX. This is Milky in Mango Lassie. Another NYX Fat Oil Supermodel. This one's the glossy one. And then I also got the ColourPop lippy pencils from TJ Maxx. Let's do this quick. Oh my god, I'm so sweaty. As usual, I'm just adding that blue. I think I have to start using my summer shade. I noticed in photos, sometimes my face is really white. The shade I'm using right now is my winter shade, and I think I need to start transitioning into my summer shade. I always found that Too Faced Born This Way, the full coverage, medium to full coverage foundation is actually really, really good with my skin. I have a combination skin, so my T-zone gets super oily. This is your T-zone. And then my cheeks, like my sideburns and stuff like that, sides of my cheeks, they actually get really dry, but so far this is the best foundation. I opt out for a really matte foundation. As you can see, it's not that matte once it's on my skin. My sister, she has really, really dry skin. So this foundation is too drying for her. But this is perfect for me. Like, what works for someone else isn't gonna work for another person. You have to really pay attention to what kind of skin you have. Mine's is unfortunately an oily T-zone, and with that, I have to have more matte makeup because after a few hours, especially with summer heat coming around, my skin gets oily really freaking quick. So that is my skin. I think this is gonna be a regular now. The only time I really have to like sit down and really talk is when I'm doing my makeup. I am usually like up and about, running around doing things, and that's kind of what fulfills me, is me being out and about. I've been knocking out so quick at night where I'm falling asleep with my glasses on and just so exhausted and tired, and I would like wake up in the middle of the night like after really, really deep sleep, disoriented, not knowing where I am, what time is it, where am I, is my alarm on, did I miss work, even on the weekends. So yeah, my anxiety is usually running an all-time high. The other night I had a dream about one of my sisters, and she was dating, meeting different people, and of course, in my dream, she was dating people, seeing people, meeting new people. I got a phone call from her, and all I can hear is her conversation with the guy that she was with. And they were on the road or something like that. And I'm just like, what's going on? What do you need? Like, do you need me to come pick you up? What's going on? Like, give me some sort of sign. And then within that, she's just like, yes, 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 you know? And then, and I'm just like, oh, she just kept saying yes, yes, yes. So that was my sign to like, okay, no, she needs me right now. And I just remember getting into my car and driving, and I'm so full of anxiety and rage, and I'm just like, what is going on? This usually never happens. So like, red flags, pay attention to people. And then I wake up from that dream while, you know, I'm driving on the road furiously, and I I wake up from that dream and I'm so livid. Like, I cannot calm myself down. I'm full of anxiety. I'm so angry. But it's from the dream. It took me a while to actually calm down. I actually journal or diary, whatever you want to call it, when I wake up, or when I have like situations that overly stresses me out, that makes my fight or flight response kind of like ping. I try to write kind of like in a journal or something. Not in a journal, I just use my notes in my phone. So with that, I just note down like what I'm feeling, what kind of caused the situation, and how can I put myself down from super elevated emotional levels to like normal, calm again. Try to go back to bed too. Like, this was like 4 in the morning when it happened, so I was just like, oh my god, like I can't sleep. Yeah, so I like to write down, and just to kind of calm myself down. I think like it's a really great way to kind of reflect back on emotions that I'm feeling in that moment. It helps me because I will say it helps me because I'm so focused on trying to write what I'm feeling that eventually I don't feel it anymore. So that's one of my coping mechanisms of trying to work through high anxiety situations. Speaking of high anxiety, I actually am a ball of anxiety. Do you ever get this where you are sleeping the night before work, any day of the week, Monday to Friday, whatever the case is? You're just living your best life, trying to sleep, and then you wake up because anxiety wakes you up and says, you're late for work. I get that a lot. And then I'm like, all these like, I think of it like red sirens in my head, right? Red sirens in my head going off telling me you're late, your alarm didn't go off, you need to quickly just get out of bed and start getting ready. And so usually in moments like that, I also have like a second part of me where I'm also like, okay, maybe you're overreacting a little bit. I have my own checks and balances in my head, and sometimes it doesn't work and sometimes it does. So usually when I have these red alarms blaring in my face, like, hey, you need to get up, you are late to work, I check my phone. I usually sleep with my phone near my pillow, and I check my phone, check what time is it, what day is it, where am I? And most times it's like, oh, it's the weekend. Like, it's the weekend. I don't need to be up at 3 in the morning. It's just my anxiety knocking out the door. So I usually just try to go back to bed after that, after I check the time. I'm usually pretty good, like, okay, I'm just overreacting. I just need to go back to bed. That is me. It happens. Any day out of the week, that happens. And I know I always have my alarms on. I'm always constantly checking before I go to bed my alarms. On the weekends, I actually use alarms. I just hate it when I sleep in, and there has been instances like I would say like only once or twice now where I slept in until like 11. And I hate it when I do that, just because I feel like my whole day is gone and I just become this huge Debbie Downer. Like, my sister can tell you, she's just like, oh my gosh, Molly is so annoying. She just kept crying about how the day is gone and there's no point in doing anything because the day is already gone. That is me. Because I just don't like waking up super late. Like, on the weekends, I give myself until like 9. 8:30, 9 o'clock. That's you know, enough time for me like to sleep in a little bit but still be able to enjoy my day. This morning I woke up. I kept waking up before my alarm today because I was freaking out that I was going to sleep in super late. It's a common reoccurrence. But I kept waking up before my alarm today. I woke up like around 5 in the morning, and then I woke up around 6:30, and I'm like, okay, you know, I just need to go to bed. I need to stop worrying about this. And then I finally knocked out again. And then it was 9 o'clock. My alarm was going off, and I'm like, okay, let me just snooze a little bit because I just kept waking up throughout the night full of anxiety, trying to figure out what time it was, where I was, what was going on. I've been knocking out a lot, really exhausted, but I feel like because I'm so exhausted, I go into this really, really deep sleep. And then when I get out of it, I just freak out like the whole world has changed and all of a sudden time is going faster than it actually is. And I wake up throughout the middle of the night. So I'm trying to work through that right now. I actually was going to a therapist on like my anxiety and stuff like that. I would say it's always been a constant thing, but the last couple years it's gotten a lot worse where I actually get anxiety attacks. And my first time having an anxiety attack, I did not know I was having an anxiety attack. I just couldn't breathe. Like, forgetting how to breathe in that moment was so scary. And I was at work. I had just started my new office job. Again, this started a couple years ago already. I was just sitting at my desk, and all of a sudden I couldn't breathe. I was freaking out. I'm like, oh my God, I have to rip off my clothes right now. I know, it makes no sense. I'm in the middle of the office working, and all of a sudden I just like couldn't breathe. I had the urge to just take off my clothes because I'm like, I'm being so restricted. I can't breathe. My lungs won't expand to bring air. So it was just like a lot going on in my head at that moment. And externally, when you see me, I'm just sitting at my desk, right? But internally, like the SpongeBob where everything is going all crazy and everything is burning and whatever. Oh, that was me. So I didn't know what an anxiety attack was until then. Yeah, a little exaggerated, but since then, it's kind of gotten worse where I went to urgent care and thinking I had a heart attack. I actually got an EKG done. The doctor just kept trying to reassure me like, hey, you're fine. You're still really young. Like, you shouldn't be having any heart issues. But, because then, like, my blood test and everything, like, they did lab and everything. And they were like, everything looks fine. We believe you're a really healthy woman in her early 20s. You'll be fine. And I was just like, well, you know, like, I've, you know, I don't want it to be a concern if it was a heart attack or whatever the case was, or heart palpitations and stuff like that. Like, I want to know for sure that it wasn't a heart attack. It wasn't anything to do with my heart. And it was just, like, mental, right? So I went, and he was just like, okay, let me order you an EKG to get done. I don't know what an EKG is. I will put it on the screen here. But I got it done. They put all of these like sticky little pads all over me where my like, I don't know, where electromagnetic waves are in your body. So they run it and it comes back normal. And the doctor's like, see, this is what I thought, you know, you're fine. And I'm just like, okay, well, good to know. And I'm like, well, like, I had asked him, well, do you think that this could have been caused by something else? Like, why did I all of a sudden feel like really, really bad chest pain and everything? So I just felt really bad chest pains. I was in the middle of traffic on my way home from work, and I just couldn't breathe. And all of a sudden, like, I felt chest pains, like really, really sharp chest pains where it's like, And I was kind of just questioning the doctor, and he was just like, well, like, do you have X, Y, and Z? And he went down a list, like, do you have this? Do you have this? Like, I don't know. It was just like, do you have a rash? Do you have, like, it was just like a laundry list of like, well, if you have this symptom, it could be this. If you have that symptom, it could be that. So, I did have a rash then, but again, I have really sensitive skin. So when summertime hits or the heat hits, I break out in rashes, and that's just kind of normal. I break out in heat rashes, and that is simply because my skin is very freaking sensitive. That's it. And my skin's just super sensitive, I think. But yeah, like I have eczema. I had really bad eczema when I was a kid. If you don't know what eczema is, it's like your skin breaks out into these rashes, almost like open wound kind of thing. You can kind of see it right here. But this is really, really mild on my knuckle here. But when I was a kid, I would get it all over my inner arms. And it would just get so itchy and irritated that I would scratch it until it would bled. And it would come, and usually I had really bad eczema, and my parents, of course, being immigrants, not knowing what skin conditions are, and instead of going to the doctors and potentially seeing what was wrong with me, I bathed in bleach like anybody would. I bathed in bleach. They've put like toothpaste on my arm thinking that it'll heal it. I don't know the logic behind it. But yeah. That was kind of it as a kid. And then eventually when we moved to California, so that happened when I lived in Minnesota. And eventually when I moved to California, it went away. Occasionally I would get it, but it would start out like hives on my, what is this, the side of your stomach. It would start out from the side of my stomach, and it would just spread, and it would get so itchy, so irritated. Like, of course, I'm scratching it like crazy, and I'm bleeding everywhere. And then it'll spread as I'm scratching it. So then it started to get on my chest, my arms, my inner thighs. It was just super bad. And finally, my mom took me to the doctors to check it out. And the doctor wasn't even sure what it was either. They thought I had cats at home, and I had mite bites. Mites come from cats or whatever, something like that. But I told her, like, we don't have any pets at home. Like, that does not make any logical sense. How would I get that from a cat that I don't have? And the doctor just couldn't give me any real solution. So that was it. I didn't even get prescribed any creams or anything. She just said, oh, it'll eventually go away. And if it gets worse, just come back again. And I'm just like, dude, like, what the heck? That does not solve my problem of this rash that's like breaking out. And it'll happen for like about a month or two during the summertime. And then it'll go away. And then it'll come back again the next year. And then it'll come back again the next year. And it happened three years in a row while I was living in California, where it would like break out really, really bad. And then eventually it just stopped. All of a sudden it just stopped, and I didn't get any more rashes until I moved back to Minnesota. When I moved back to Minnesota, my rashes started happening again, but this time it started out on my knuckles, and they just start out as like little bumps, and I'm like, okay, what is that? And so I generously always apply lotion on my hands and use Vaseline petroleum jelly for any like cracked skin and stuff like that. And this time it wasn't going away. I don't know why it didn't go away. It started spreading. It started on my knuckles and started spreading, and then I got it on both hands, and it was really, really bad at one point where it just looked real ugly, like really bad. And like the eczema is like becomes like callus almost, where it's like thicker skin, and then within that thicker skin, you know how like in your skin you have like lines and stuff like that, right? The natural grooves of your skin started cracking and bleeding, and it was just so bad. I didn't know what it was, and it dawned on me, oh shoot, I have eczema. And so then I got eczema cream. At first I used cortisone. Cortisone is an over-the-counter topical cream that you can use, and that did not work for me. It just irritated my skin more. And so my sister, who has really scaly dry skin, she has I'm not even gonna try to attempt to say it, but it's basically a 0.1% steroid ointment that you can put on your skin. So it's an active ingredient in there, and it'll help like calm your rash. And it did. Like, if I put it on consecutively every single day, my rash, my eczema on my skin would go away after 4 weeks. It just meant consistency. Like, throughout the day, I'm constantly putting it on. At least 4 or 5 times a day, I'm putting it on for a few weeks straight on the affected skin, and it would go away. And I was like, oh my God, this is what I needed. But every time it goes away, it comes back, of course. And usually comes back when the weather is warming up and it starts to get humid out. Because here in Minnesota, it gets kind of, it gets pretty humid. So with the humidity, I have to start just applying the cream as soon as I start feeling that. Now I've gotten better at it, at kind of like identifying when my skin is getting irritated, and then I just start applying it wherever I feel it. So eventually, till this day, I'm still dealing with it. I woke up in the middle of the night, like it'll start just itching. It's like an itch in your inner soul that you can't get rid of. So like, I'm sleeping in bed. This was like a couple weeks ago. I'm sleeping in bed, and oh my gosh, my elbow starts getting real itchy. My hand starts to get real itchy, and then it dawns on me that my eczema's coming back, and I need to quickly apply the cream on. But the cream isn't like works instantaneously. Like, it's not an anti-itch cream. It's not at all. It just helps, like, as you continuously use it. Eventually it makes the itch go away and the skin irritation. And that is my skin. It's like so bad. I've been doing a lot of cleaning up. I'm making some space. My brother, who's a Marine, now he's a vet. He just got back from Japan about a month ago, but he was doing the checkout process in California, and then he's going to move out here. So he should be here in a couple of days. I'm going to do my eyeliner really quick. So just kind of cleaning up and preparing for him. I bought him a care package, just kind of like the essentials. I say care package, but it's more like essentials welcome basket to Minnesota. It's been a long time since he's been back to Minnesota. Brink Color Pop. I love how juicy it is. Kiss the Muse collection in Legacy. That was my brother telling me to hurry up. Trying to go as fast as I can. I'm trying. I need to set my face. There's almost nothing left in this bottle. Like, okay. I've been sitting here for 38 minutes. Try. Look at this. I like to extend my eyelashes past my eye, down my eyeliner, just to give me more of a longer eye look. And so this is my eyelashes. They're a little subtle, a little more subtle than I usually get them. I've been really more into like the 3D lashes that are a little furrier, that gives you more dimension instead of just like the straight out eyelashes. Here it is. My highlighter is popping. Look at that. I love how juicy my lips are. Okay, time to get dressed really quick. I'm just wearing jeans and a tank top. It's kind of hot. Let me redo my hair here. Ooh, yeah, my hair's gotten up to that awkward length. I need to get a cut, but I've been kind of lazy. Probably just gonna wear flip-flops and that's it. Gonna go out to, what was the restaurant called again?
Oh my gosh, Sean, you should have heard Molly's joke yesterday. It was hilarious.
Oh,
We were
so
saying,
stupid.
if we had kids, would I name my kids a Hmong name? I said, yeah, I would. And then I was like, yeah, I have to come up with like with Hmong, it's like describing things, right? Yeah. So I would say, because I know someone named Chia Cha, and I'm like, oh, that's a cute name. And then I was saying like, oh, I would have to name my kid like Iko. And then Molly goes, oh, Bade! Holy shit, when she said Bade, that was hilarious.
It was so dumb. Mongo and Gigi just kept giggling about it. I'm like, dude.
Bade, what are you doing?
What do you guys want to say? Hot tea. Yes, hot tea.
Can I get water and lemonade?
Okay.
Water.
Here's the egg drop soup. That's so cute. I always like to add black pepper. Because of ordering too much food, we had to connect 2 tables.
This is all gonna be good.
Cream cheese waffles are pretty good. The sauce is different. It's like a yellow, sweet, sour sauce. The Ho Ho iconic wings. The lightly garlic flavor. That's bomb. That was just skin. This is the beef lo mein. Very flavorful. I kind of like the thin noodles. It's really cute. The aromatic spare ribs. I love the bell peppers with the aromatic spare ribs. It just adds that extra flavor profile. It's so huge. Gosh. Open wide. Oh, my fortune cookies are just sticking out. Broken 2 pieces. Okay, gotta eat it first.
You will find your solution where you least expect it. So I guess it's in my sleep.
From generic, you will attain great wisdom with each passing year.
Soon, someone will make you very proud. Someone will make me proud. Okay.
It says, some pursue happiness. You created. Bruh.
What?
Why do you do
She
that?
needed it. She needed it. She needs it.
So I'm trying to take off my makeup. I just did my eyelids. I'm using micellar water to remove it right now in cotton pads. And I'm gonna go in with my double fisting method. It's just like stained my eyes. That's kind of what happens when you use reds. Any eyeshadows with like red pigments in it, it stains your skin. I usually do a double cleanse. I'm gonna go in with the Caudalie Vinyl Clean foaming wash. So my face is a little damp before I do this. I do need more, so just kind of massage it. Always the cracks and crevices. And here is my clean face. I know, it does not look clean with the... One thing about my skin is it's actually very sensitive, and I like get hormonal acne a lot. I've been trying to test out a bunch of different skincare products, face washes and stuff like that, but I found that my skin reacts really poorly to a bunch of acids, so AHA, BHA, salicylic acids. It just doesn't go well with my skin. I will literally break out in a hive within seconds. So that's how sensitive my skin is. I always opt out to use clean products. So Caudalie is actually one I use a lot. Like, gosh, how many bottles? This is their essence. I've probably gone through like 4 of these already. Just gonna... always bring it down to the neck. So this is my face with no makeup. I have a lot of acne going on. Trust me, it's been driving me crazy. I use pimple patches. I've tried a bunch of different pimple or acne skincare products and stuff, and it's just so harsh on my skin that it causes me to break out more and cystic acne and so forth. So I don't know, let me know what you guys use. I just have really super sensitive skin, so it's like driving me nuts. Thanks for coming along with me today. Until next time,